it's Friday and Katie wants us to teach her something. So I'm going to do sea turtles because that's what she recommended. I'm going to start by introducing my will-be cast. We have Sheldon, who is actually the only one with a name because he came with a name. We have this turtle, who is unnamed. This turtle, also unnamed. And this turtle. But before we get to this part, involving my cast, which was also seen in my last video, I'm seeing a recurring theme, I'm going to answer some commonly asked questions. So, commonly asked questions for the sea turtle team, I guess. And this is coming from people that are on the beach and stop us and wave us down in the mornings. And just in general. You know, I know you girls have asked me a couple questions. Katie, you asked me how long do they take to cook as in incubation time. Loggerheads and greens take 40 to 55 days. And leatherbacks, which are much larger and have a much larger egg that's closer to a tennis ball size as opposed to like a, that's a golf ball, I guess. They're 70-ish days. And so nesting season, leatherbacks start much earlier than loggerheads and greens. So they start nesting in March, and loggerheads don't really start until about now, which is, late May to June. And as how many eggs they lay about 100 eggs in each nest. Leatherbacks lay a little less, but again, they're bigger, so they take more energy to make. How big do sea turtles get? That's another question we get. Leatherbacks are huge. The heaviest leatherback recorded, I believe, is 2,500 pounds. Oh, sorry, just 2,000 pounds. My bad. Whereas loggerheads and greens get closer to 500. People also like to ask us how long the sea turtles live, but there's never actually been a turtle followed from hatching to death, so we can only give an estimate of the average sea turtle lifespan, I guess, from what we've seen. Right now the estimate is about 60 years for sea turtles. Ooh, fun fact, one of my favorite ones, is that the babies in their little incubation chamber, their egg chamber, their nest, if you will, their sex is dependent on the temperature of the egg chamber. So if it's one temperature, they should be, if it's the appropriate temperature, I guess I should say, they should be 50-50 male and female. But if it's warmer, they'll all be female. And any colder, they'll all be male. That's so weird. And I don't think you can tell by looking at the hatchling, which they are. And two more. Okay. So, do turtles come back to the nest that they were born from? Or hatched from, I guess. And they actually do. They come back. It's not exactly the same, spot. It's within like 5 miles, I believe. And it's not exactly sure how they do this, but it's believed that the current belief, I guess, is that they use some of the magnetic poles of the Earth. So they can tell where that is because of that. And, finally, do moms nest more than once a year? They don't nest every year, but when they do nest, they nest a few times. But like I said, not every year, so it's more of an every other or every third year situation. And that wraps up this section, so let's get to... Alright girls, here's the beach. We have the ocean, we have the beach. This is what the turtles should be doing. Frantically trying to get to the ocean. But sometimes, and that's the right way, but sometimes they like to go away from the ocean. That is not the right way.
That's the wrong way. We call this a disorientation. It's usually because there's a light over here, and they go to the brightest spot on the horizon that they can find, which, with artificial light, is not always over the ocean, where the moon is, where they should be going. So, what we have to do, not you, no one, no, not unless you're on a permit, to help with the endangered species, you should not touch them. You should call the emergency contact line, because it's bad. It's like felony bad. But anyway, I get a call, or anybody on the turtle team will get a call if a nest is disorienting, because it's usually an entire nest and not just one lone little sea turtle. And as I said before, a nest has about 100 eggs in it, so if about 80 of them are hatching properly, that's 80 turtles headed towards the road about to get smushed. And not all in a single file line, like we might want them to be. So we have to come and we have to pick them up and we put them in a bucket. And once they're in the bucket, if it's nighttime, we take them back down to the ocean and we turn them around and we stand there and we babysit the little boogers until they go into the water and make it, and then they're in the water and they're in the ocean and they're in the current, and then whoosh, they go away and they find their happy family. Sure, we'll put it that way. Alright, step 2. Here's Mama. She's coming out of the ocean to lay a nest. She'll crawl up into the sand and leave tracks that we identify in the morning. For a loggerhead, she will have an alternating gait, which means she'll do this and push, and then she'll do this and push, and then this and this and this until she's happy with her spot, and then she kind of digs a hole, and then she digs a hole with her back flippers, and we call that the egg chamber. And you can Google loggerhead tracks. For a green sea turtle, she'll come out of the ocean and I can't do this and hold a camera. She'll go whoomp, whoomp, whoom. She does it with one, she has a simultaneous gait, so I can't do it. I can't do it one-handed. She gets one, and then she hushes. There we go. So that's a green. Leatherbacks are the same way. That is obviously not a leatherback. It's a mystery turtle because it doesn't have scoots that are appropriate. In the mornings, if we have to excavate a nest, we carry buckets on our bikes, and because it's daylight and baby sea turtles are apparently a tasty, tasty treat to most objects in nature, including foxes on the beach, birds. There's actually I think it's a night heron is what it's called. It's also protected, so we can't do anything about it, but it can hear the turtles underneath the sand, and it'll wait outside the nest for them to start popping up. Scary. And then it'll eat them. And there's also seagulls and anything else. And then once they get to the water, there's other things that will eat them. So we don't release them during the day. We wait until I think it's 9 o'clock at night. Keep in mind, during this video, I'm not fully trained, and nor am I an expert on sea turtles. I am merely an individual sharing what I do know with, some stuff that I might not be completely 100% certain on, and you should not take my word. You should do research if you want to know more. This is merely an introductory, I like sea turtles. But yeah, so I don't remember what I was just saying, so we're going to end that there, I guess. Oh, we release at nighttime, and we can't use light to release them because, as I said earlier, they come to the brightest spot on their horizon. So there are special red flashlights that people can use. Not just any red flashlight, because it's still the same kind of light at that point, or we can just do it in the dark, like the turtles do. Strandings! I'm not at all trained on strandings yet. I will be. I have expressed interest on being a member of the stranding team, which what happens in that case is usually we have a turtle. And someone calls the hotline for this turtle because They are not laying a nest. You do not call the hotline if the turtle is laying a nest. That is natural behavior. But something will usually be wrong with the turtle. It's either dead or ill. We had one a couple weeks ago that had twine coming out of both ends. It was string that the turtle had ingested. It was wrapped around its fins, and the spool was out of its mouth, and it was still coming out the other end. Not good. It was taken to, and what happens in that case is that we respond to the call. Whoever's on call on that day, we respond. But yeah, so a stranding is responding to anything that washes up on the beach, turtle-wise. And usually they're dead, which is sad. And in that case, we bury them, I think, is the protocol. They spray paint a shell to mark that they've already seen it. I'll be able to give you more information on this later, after I'm trained, because right now, I'm only reciting what I've been told from other people responding to strandings, not an actual training. So that'll happen later. But I hope you girls have a wonderful weekend, and I hope that you've learned something, some little itty-bitty bit from this turtley video. And, oh, I can show you our shirts. I'm not going to put this on for you because I wore it on Saturday and have not had the opportunity to watch it before I wear it again tomorrow. But we wear those on the beach when we are working, because we are affiliated with Broward County, and that shirt notifies it. We have people that will stop us on the ATVs and ask us questions, usually the questions that I already answered for you. And that about wraps it up, so I hope that you girls have a lovely weekend, and I will try to edit this before the end of the day and get it up on the YouTubes and the interwebs and for your viewing pleasure. Bye.